Yeah, there we go. Oh, hold on, Mike. I have another window open.
Trevor?
Okay,
Trevor?
Okay, can you hear me? Can you see me?
I can't see you.
Okay, hopefully this fixes itself. Just a second. My camera
No,
was being used.
I mostly don't hear you.
Wait, you can't hear me.
Well, I can hear you, but I hear many other people too. But that might just be coming with the territory.
Yeah, that I don't think is going to change. Just have to do his thing. I'm trying to turn my. There we go. Can you see me now?
Would it be possible for you to, are you using the microphone on your headphones connected to the computer?
I am now. Hold on a second. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay, so I'm going to turn this off.
Okay, fair enough, yeah. Goodbye.
Cool. Goodbye. I think I turned it off. Okay, so how you doing?
I'm good.
Are we broadcasting right now?
What?
Are we broadcasting right now?
Live.
Sweet. Oh yeah, I see the live button. So I think
You can see that, by the way, right? The yellow button on the top right?
yeah, I can see it says live on the top right hand corner now.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it was just a little screwed up because look at my my schedule is going nuts.
Two schmucks.
Two
About
schmucks
to
at
talk to you
11:30.
about cryotherapy.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So just moving forward, I think it'd be what?
The two schmucks are really cold.
Yeah. I think we should either use your account or my account moving forward, just so we have them all in one place. The videos, but it doesn't matter. But this next time moving forward, maybe we just keep using your account if it works easier for you to invite.
Sure.
Anyway, so cryotherapy. What is it about? Have you done it? What have you experienced?
I've never done cryotherapy, and I've only heard about it briefly. And most of that knowledge came from what you briefly told me in last talk that we had a couple of days ago. So I've gotten into taking cold showers, cold training or cold therapy. I'm interested to talk about it, but I think that it'd be best if you started out explaining your experience with cryotherapy because you know more about it than I do.
Okay, so just one quick thing also, if you can just go up to the bandwidth part of this and just try to limit it a little bit. I don't know if it's my connection or your connection or both, but you were lagging up a lot right there.
Okay.
But,
you know where the bandwidth is?
So in the middle of the screen, it might be a little different on Macs. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I just found that. It was on auto HD, and I put it on low, I guess, or very low.
Yeah, mine is on low right now. Very low looks terrible. So, all right. So yeah, just to start off a little bit, cryotherapy is just kind of like the general term used for cold therapy. Cryo meaning cold, and therapy, for therapy. 3 types of cryotherapy.
I'm from like a. Is that like a Greek word or something like that?
Yeah, they're both Greek.
Okay. Which means cold.
Yeah, cold. Cryo meaning cold, and then just therapy. So basically, it's used in a whole bunch of different ways, but cryotherapy is like the 3 main ones that people know about or use. Is cryo chamber, which is the one that I did last week that I was talking to you about earlier, where you actually get into the stand-up tank and it gets filled up with that nitrogen air, which we'll talk about in a second. But then also ice baths, which a lot of athletes use, to help their muscles recover faster and all that. And also more applicable to my life and what we've talked about last week also is just the cold showers. So being able to take that cold shower and cryotherapy, just being that the cold water is able to soothe your muscles and help you recover or just make you feel good and all these other things. So a little bit that on my personal, I guess, experience, and I have never done an ice bath. That was something that kind of kicked us off a while ago. When I was down in Florida last year, I was thinking about doing that. And then it was just like, oh, well, where am I going to get, like, I don't know, 80 pounds of ice? And do I want to do that? And I'm not really an athlete. I don't train like an athlete. So is the benefit really going to be necessary? Maybe I'll start with taking a cold shower. So I started taking these cold showers after I worked out. And also being in Florida, it was really hot and it felt good to take a cold shower. So I started just taking like cool showers, and then I was like, well, how do you tell where's the point where it becomes kind of like, how do you control how cold you make it? How do you make it consistently cold? And so that's when I decided just to take my regular shower and then at the end turn off the hot water. So there's no guesswork. It's just as cold as it could possibly get.
Yeah.
And it gets really cold. It gets much colder up here than it did in Florida. So that's where I started doing that. Then, like I said, I never did the ice baths, but the cryo chamber one, there's a company called Cryology, which was the first company to launch cryo chambers on Long Island. And I went to one of their sessions, usually like $80 a session. I got it for like 25 on Groupon, so I figured I'd try it out. And that tank gets down to about negative 240 plus degrees Fahrenheit, which is super cold because they pump liquid nitrogen as a gas into the chamber. So that's like the lowdown on cryotherapy for people that don't know really what it is. There's like a bunch of benefits and stuff. Like,
it's really cold because they use gas.
What?
It's really cold because they use gas. And instead of using ice or anything, it's just cold.
Well, it's cold because there's a giant liquid nitrogen tank directly next to the tank that you're in, and it's releasing liquid nitrogen, which vaporizes instantly into the tank, and it swirls around you. And so, like, it felt like there was ice forming on my legs. That's how cold it was. It was crazy.
Wow.
But you only do it for about 3 minutes.
And basically, you're standing there, or how is it set up?
You're standing up here. You walk, so they open up imagine it's like this, like a chamber, like a cylinder. They open it up like a door, and you stand inside of it, and your head pops out just above it. They hand you gloves and socks with slippers. Other than that, you're just in your boxers.
I'm like, you're lagging pretty bad. Could you go on very low?
Yeah, sure. I was actually going to test the bandwidth right before we started, but it wouldn't make a difference, I guess, to test it.
Yeah, I guess it's okay. It's something we'll figure out over time.
Yeah, but it was a cool experience. I don't know if I would pay $80 to do it, not being someone who has had a big injury or who regularly works out to the point where I need that kind of sped up recovery. But there are other benefits of it that I do like. Some of the benefits of cryotherapy, like it decreases inflammation because the cold constricts your vascular system. Also decreases pain and spasms. You have a heightened senses following submersion. Like your senses become more acute. You become more sensitive.
More alive.
More alive. You just feel much more alive. It kickstarts your immune system.
You get like more like reception or sensitivity to stimuli.
Yeah, like everything. It's like almost being instantly caffeinated, and then the effects also last throughout the day. As in, like your body goes into kind of like the fight or flight mode, and you end up burning more calories if you are working out later on in the day. You can burn between 500 and 800 calories following a session. Because
it puts your body in fight or flight mode, it like gets you that adrenaline and stuff, and and it's still like that effect lingers throughout the day and possibly even longer.
Yeah. So it felt to me when I got out of the tank, there was a notable difference in the temperature, obviously, because between that and the cold shower,
it felt a bit warmer.
It was interesting. It was really short. I prefer to do cold showers because I just do it every single day now. And I did it this morning. I wasn't going to do it this morning because I got out of bed and I was really tired. And I was like, I don't want to. I want to go take a hot shower and relax. But
that's basically how I feel every time I do it until I put it cold. And then after I'm like, cold.
Yeah, well, it always feels great after. It's like making that jump, making that decision. But one thing that I've noticed that's an immediate effect is that if I try to like bend over and touch my toes, right? I'm not a very flexible person as it is. And when I was in the shower this morning and I was kind of like groggy or whatever, I tried to just stretch by bending down and touch my toes, and I couldn't do it. I only got maybe 8 or 9 inches from touching the ground. And then that was like, all right, well, I have to do this now. So after the shower, I took like a hot shower, and then I just turned off the hot water. I do it without thinking. And after about 20 to 30 seconds of it running on my back and my abdomen and stuff, I bent down, I could touch the floor, no problem. It was like I had taken some sort of magic pill of stretchability. And then 5 minutes after the shower, can't do it again. What was that?
Why do you think that happened?
Because there's inflammation in all of our joints, like all the time. and it instantaneously reduces all that inflammation. So you just feel so much better. And I've had back
Basically
issues
makes
for
it smaller because inflammation makes like the joints and muscles larger,
yeah.
right? It kind of
Well, all your
like
inflammation it gets inflamed, so your joints fill up with juices, and your veins and your cells are expanded with all this like intracellular matter. And then because it gets cold, it constricts and it squeezes all that back out.
yeah. So how do you feel going into the cryotherapy chamber? Like I know that you're talking about showers, how sometimes you feel like not as much motivation to do it, and I feel that way too. Like sometimes it's kind of just like, no, I want to be warm, and I don't want to be cold. You get that feeling. Was it like difficult to be in the cryptotherapy one? Like that's a lot colder than a cold shower. Was
Yeah.
it
So the
anyway?
cryo. Think about it like this: like the cryotherapy chamber was a novel idea for a while for me, for a couple months. And when I finally had the opportunity to do it, it was almost like a roller coaster. I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go as extreme as possible and try to do it for as long as possible, up to the total of 3 minutes. So when I first got into it and it started pumping the cold in the first 10 seconds, my legs were so cold I wanted to jump out. Wait, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, because your video
First jump out. I'm here. Mark over here. I'm listening.
Okay, cool. Okay, you came back. Yeah. So, but knowing that it was only 3 minutes, like the guy stood in the room with me and talked to me the whole time, there is a difference between the types of cryotherapy when you're submerged. And so the fact that it only affects really the outermost layer of your skin. It's like the first half millimeter of your skin. So it doesn't freeze the tissue like an ice bath does because it doesn't penetrate. So it does just stimulates that outermost area, and so it's over really quick, and you're not cold afterwards. You can jump right out of it. There's I'm getting a ton of feedback on your end. I don't know what that is.
Feedback.
It's like when you're quiet, it gets all white and fuzzy.
I guess I'll just keep blabbling on, blabbling.
Yeah. Well, you take it now. You take it, and that'll be better.
Okay. Well, yeah. The cryptotherapy thing is interesting to me, and I was also going to ask you too, how it feels subjectively different from showers. But we'll get back to that later because right now the feedback doesn't seem to want to let you talk. So just remember that for another time, and then
what was the question? I'll just answer it really quick.
How's it subjectively feel, and what are the differences between that and the cold shower? Like, is there a big difference between doing that and the cold shower in how you feel? And like, if it were like the same price point, if it were free like a cold shower for us, you go cryotherapy, okay, then would it be like much different in the shower? Do you do it in addition to the shower, or a substitute?
So I like the fact that the cold shower can be had for no additional cost, obviously, because it's just something you can do every day and work right into your routine. You don't even have to do anything extra. You're already in the shower, and the benefits are right there immediately. But the cryotherapy one, if it were essentially like the same price, or if the cost were an issue at all, I know that there are a lot of people like Tony Robbins talks about how when he does this big long retreat weekends, he has to use that, and it totally changes his game. So there are like athletes that like really push their bodies to the limit, and they use this all the time because they can just afford to, essentially. But the benefits, I know, like scientifically, are much bigger when you use that one. But for me, I haven't noticed too much of a difference really, because probably because I don't really need like that kind of therapy, maybe like they do.
Right.
But for me, it didn't seem worth it. But I can see how it would be for people who really need it.
Yeah. So I feel like it's something that right now it's kind of just like an abyss or an ocean that like we know is out there and is like ready to explore. Not quite ready yet because at the moment it's pretty expensive, and our whole like where we are in life and everything. But we can get a lot of it, we can explore some of it with taking the cold showers and explore like part of it. You know, a lot of athletes do it, and a lot of people can, but when you still like Tony Robbins do it a lot, and I feel like I feel like it's probably a big potential in it. Like I would like to get into doing it a lot more and something to do it. I mean, do it regularly. When, can you hear me?
I can hear you. It was breaking up for a while, and I actually lost your video for a bit, but I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, I'll keep going then. So yeah, I feel like there might just be a lot of benefits out there, like kind of for everybody. Thinking about cold showers a lot, and the not sure how to go about it. I've been thinking about the like fortitude building or the resilience building that's involved with cold showers.
Can you say that again? You're breaking.
I've been thinking about the fortitude building or the resilience kind
Okay,
of
like the
building.
resiliency. Yeah, I've experienced a lot of that. It's way easier now. Since I've started doing this, it's way easier
Yeah,
to be standing through like a cold shower.
yeah.
It's like it's a no-brainer, and it feels way better than it did at the beginning.
Hmm. Yeah, and I feel like I'm also like amazing kind of after I get out of the shower. Like last night, I was walking around, I took a cold shower, and I was like, I don't know why I feel so good right now. Just like felt, but my
Oh, it
skin.
releases endorphins. You get like
Yeah,
that rush.
it brings you into flow. I think, uh, in a way, it's kind of like I relate it to meditation sometimes. That meditation is partly about training your concentration and training your mental fortitude or your willpower to concentrate on one thing for a prolonged period of time and to not get distracted. And when I take a cold shower or when I put the water on cold, I'll try to control my breathing and I'll try to breathe as slowly as I can, be as present as I can, feel it, and not like lose control. Because part of me wants to go like, ah, and like
Right.
freak out. But
The fact that it's
try
good for
to.
you makes it easier.
Oh well, definitely,
It's
yeah,
like
and
it's like eating your vegetables, knowing what the benefits are.
yeah. But when you first start eating vegetables, when a lot of kids first start eating vegetables, they're bad. But then you go to appreciate them because you realize they make you feel good in life, and they taste
Yeah,
pretty
of
good too.
course.
You get to enjoy it in its own way. So yeah, I feel like it's pretty valuable in like training yourself and sort of putting yourself through very trials
Can you say
and
that?
sort
Can
of
you go
testing
back
you.
for a quick second? That was all I heard was putting yourself through, and then you started chopping up.
Yeah, one of the reasons why I think it's beneficial is through tests, like testing yourself or challenging yourself or putting yourself through trials. Like I've heard about people talk about fasting and doing other things to limit the sort of luxury we have. Like I think that like Thoreau or one of those people talks about like trying to live without uh, without all the pleasures in life and like walking around in rags and stuff like that and seeing how it really is. And I think that it probably goes along with that kind of philosophy. Like we have a lot of good in life and we can live very comfortable most of the time, and we do. We're fortunate for that. Uh, Although it's not something that's always there, and it's something that, well, we have it. I think that we can sort of make ourselves better or stronger by intentionally introducing challenges into our lives, like
Yeah,
in
for
very
sure.
cold water. And those challenges are partially intrinsically valuable just because they're just challenging yourself and just to go in that cold water. And then partially it's like got the whole neurochemical side of it. Like it does all those, it releases all those endorphins and it has all those physical body effects. And so I feel like there's a lot of different ways that it's helpful. And I'm really glad that I've gotten into the habit of doing cold showers. I just started over the past couple months. Before that, I never really did. And whenever I had a cold shower, it was always just
It's
by
like super
accident.
unenjoyable. It's
Yeah,
like someone flushes the toilet.
yeah, exactly. Or like the hostel or whatever just didn't get cold water, and it was always come with like, damn it. But now it's like, first of all, learning to appreciate that, learning to appreciate every moment that we've got, and learning to get more out of it, and, and and like, I don't know, using it so that it's creating value over my life. And I feel like that is, I'm excited to have that so far. The uh, the cold showers in life and that habit, I think it's a good thing. And I'm really interested to try things like crypto therapy, so, like more extreme versions. Oh, another thing too is, have you ever heard of contrast therapy?
Contrast?
Yeah,
No.
I just heard of contrast therapy the other day. Contrast therapy, as far as I understand, it's basically contrasting between very cold and very hot. So there's a lot of people who are also talking about the benefits of saunas and steam rooms, like
Oh
really
yeah.
and staying there for a long time. And I know just from personal experience, I've been in saunas and steam rooms a handful of times, and and also I've gotten like hot tubs and cold pools and hot tubs and cold pools, and it's always felt really good. Even when I was like a kid, and it was just like obvious. Oh, there's a hot tub in this pool. I'm going to run and jump in between both of them. Great. And the same thing applies when we're older, and that's another sort of interesting, I don't know, field that I'm interested in the, contrast between going from the very hot and very cold. So overall, I think that like there's a lot to experiment with as far as changing these temperatures. Temperatures is one thing, but just within changing temperatures and from very cold to doing very hot, there's a lot that we can change our experience of, a lot that we could take away from and perhaps better our lives, enjoy it more.
Yeah,
So
man,
yeah, I
for
think
sure,
really
for
good.
sure. Isn't it? I think it's crazy. Two things. I think it's crazy that we're first now starting to experience these things that we're here all the time, that we had access to the entire time. It's not a new technology or anything. It's actually probably the oldest technology,
It's an older technology
and
in one word.
it's older than us.
Yep.
And two, to that same thing you're talking about. I had never heard before you just said it about contrast therapy, but I did see a video maybe 8 or 12 months ago highlighting people either in Switzerland or Russia, somewhere over there, where they had saunas in these like it was just like pretty much a sauna built almost outside. It was like almost just a sauna, and then right outside there was snow, and they were doing ice plunges, like people that go they jump into ice water, and also. So that's just to speak to that one point, but also polar plunges. I want to do one of those. I wanted to do one this year, but I missed it in the season that just passed. But I think that's pretty much the exact same thing we talked about, except that's only one time that they do it.
Oh, and also one more thing too. Remember Wim Hu, that guy who climbed the mountains in just like his underwear?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh
Right? And
yeah.
he would like subject himself to these incredibly cold temperatures and these incredibly tough things, and always come back to his breathing. That's kind of what I was trying to relate it to, like the mindfulness aspect of it, like building that strength to it. If he can do that, then what are the limits? What can we do? And
Wait, was that the same guy? Was that the same guy that just said breathe? Like if you could tell people one thing on a billboard, it was like breathe, motherfucker. That guy that Tim Ferriss did the interview with? Is that a
yeah,
different
yeah,
guy?
yeah.
Same guy.
Yeah, the same guy. He was like, "Breathe, motherfucker!" And then the first thing that he does when he wakes up is he just breathes, and that's
Like a half hour.
his whole training, as far as I understand. Like he trains people to, and it's kind of like the movie The Revenant too. Like Leonardo
Yeah.
DiCaprio goes through these incredibly tough times, and there's that saying that keeps coming back, like you, you think you might die, and you're suffering all this thing. You just come back to your breath, and it's like the tree. If you go to the top of the tree, you swear it would fly off during a big storm, but the base is still there, and you just come back to that breathing. So it's like no matter how hot, or no matter how difficult in any way, then you still come back to that breath and be strong with it. But it takes a lot of willpower and determination to get there, and it's something that you can apply other aspects of life. Like if you train yourself at being strong in being adapted to cold, I think that probably transfers over to when you have other difficulties in life, or other challenges and stuff, like maybe emotional challenges, like I don't know, not getting the career that you want, or losing a loved one or something like that. I'm not really sure. I can't really say with too much, with any kind of certainty. But I think that like it all kind of builds up that resilience, that mental fortitude, which I think it kind of helps. It kind of goes along with like some sort of Stoic philosophies.
Definitely. And just, you remember, I have to wrap it up in just a minute, but do you remember when I had listened to we had talked once about the Jamie Foxx, Tim Ferriss interview,
Yeah,
and it was only maybe a couple months, maybe 2 months ago. And there was something he said in there that I think we also covered, but I want to cover again because it's just really great to bring up. He says Jamie Foxx asks his kids all the time, he reiterates this all the time to them, what's on the other side of fear? Because when you're fearful of something, it's because you're either unknown about it or you're unsure of the outcome. But once you know the outcome, you're really not afraid of it anymore. It's just part of the decision making process at that point. So since that point where I heard about that, we talked about it a couple months ago. I think about that all the time, and anything that I want to do or go after or achieve, I always think, well, what happens if I fail? Well, I'm just going to be here again. I'm going to be here the next day, and then I'll do something different. So just like the cold shower, what's going to happen if you get really, really cold? Nothing, except you're
yeah,
going to feel good. What happens if you go after that thing in life and you fail at it? Nothing. You're just going to be in that same place that you started off at. So building that's like part of it. I feel like what you're talking about there with mental resiliency and meditation. I feel like it all just ties in together. But like just thinking to yourself, well, what's on the other side of it? On the other side
yeah.
of fear, and there's nothing, nothing,
And,
nothing, nothing worse than you have now.
and then constantly putting it to the test and seeing that there is nothing on the side of the fear. In the specific case of the water, like realizing and taking that minute in when you're in the warm shower and you're thinking you should just stay warm. That result 3 minutes later, after you decide to take the cold shower, oh, this is what's on the other side of the fear, and it feels great.
Right. Yeah, man. That's cryotherapy.
Yeah. Well,
But
cool. It's
I do have to.
been fun talking like this, and we should do it again sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is automatically going to get uploaded then to the YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, it'll be on
Awesome.
mine. It's unlisted, but I can send you the link if you want.
Okay. Yeah. Either way, whatever. Hey, bud. I'll catch you later, and we should definitely do this. We should definitely do this at least once a week. So today,
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at my calendar on the way to work right now, and then I'll send maybe another time slot later today that if it works for you, we can do it again, and we'll have more time that time.
Sounds good, man. We got a lot of subjects we can talk about.
Yeah. All right, bud. Have a great day.
All right, you too.
See you.
You too.